Hello and welcome to August's edition of Tech of the Month. And you might have noticed that there is only two of us, and that is because our dear Simon is off on paternity leave. So a massive congratulations to Simon Lewis. And it's lucky for him because he's not in this swelteringly hot studio room that we're all in.
Yeah, and he's had a tour baby as well. And being a tour baby, he's named it after a tour stage winner. So,
well, you know how it's deal. Names in the comment section below. Let us know what your guess is.
yeah, which one do you think it was?
First, we'll jump straight into some product. James, what have you bought?
So, I've brought. Oh, my word!
my
If you want to move that out of the way.
What is that?
As you can probably guess, it is a toolkit. But this is more than just a toolkit. This is pretty much an entire workshop for your home. So within this box, it contains almost every single tool you need to maintain your bikes and to basically do any job you can think of. There are 70 different tools in here. So if you want, we can go through a few of them.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We're going to play a game where I'm going to pick up loads and loads of tools and I don't have a clue what they do. And James is going to tell me, oh, there's a second layer.
There's more, yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
It's like one
in
of
here.
those like celebration tins when you get a second tray underneath. Oh, there's a good smell.
Yeah, so there's 70 tools in total in this. So it's a big kit. So it has pretty much, as I said, anything you can think of, including, I'm going to do this one, okay? There's even a little mat here so you can put your spares in it and things won't slip off as well. So, and that's pretty cool to have in your workshop, isn't it?
Okay, James,
Yes.
what is this?
Oh, so that is a crank extractor, and you'll notice by the size of this little end bit here, it's for a Holotech crank or an ISIS or a splined crank. So for a spline bottom bracket. So this is the CCP44, and there should be another one in there, which has got a smaller one here for a square taper bottom bracket to remove your cranks.
Load of mumbo jumbo to me. Joking aside, this is an incredibly comprehensive box of tools.
Yeah, we got the torque wrenches, you've got obviously chain tools, there are spoke wrenches, there's every type of cone spanner we have in here, all the wire snips, so cable cutters, there's a full set of T-handled Allen keys. There seems to be very little missing. So you've got everything you can think of, so all the Torx wrenches, all the Allen keys, you've got everything you can think of there.
Now, this is the size of kit that if you were looking to set up a seriously well-equipped home workshop or even a small workshop, this is the type of box that you would buy.
Absolutely. This is the starter point. So as I said, you can pretty much maintain any bike using the tools in this kit. There's very little that you're missing. And it includes my favourite tool from Park, the bottle opener.
Very important.
So that is a really important one. And there's even stickers. You can set up everything. So it's comprehensive to the max.
Very nice. Now, Park Tool are well known for creating very, very good tools. Great for longevity, and the design of them is brilliant as well. So I'm guessing that this box sits at quite a high price point.
Yes, that is the one thing about it, is there's a lot of tools, and as I said, these are tools will last a lifetime if you look after them. So there is a price that reflects that, and it's £699. So that's a big, big wedge to lay out on a toolkit. Appreciate that, but you won't have to buy these tools again. Personally, I would always have a toolkit like this, and this will last a lifetime.
Very, very nice. I mean, you even get all of the cleaning things that you could want as well. Yeah,
that's probably the only thing that will end up being ruined pretty quickly. Yeah. But, again, it's a nice touch that they've added them in. I probably would have been happier to go without that and without like the little chain cleaner, and to have a couple of extra like proper tools, maybe even like sort of something more to do with like sort of wheel trimming and stuff. But
yeah, that is notably absent from this box.
There are spoke keys.
Okay.
So you have spoke keys there, all three of the main sizes, so that is covered. But yeah, those things, they're throwaway, aren't they, really? But yes, everything there, everything you can think of.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for delivering this box to me. Thanks,
I
James.
know, I now need to carry it back out again.
I'm also employing him as my personal mechanic to go with these boxes as well.
This is going to be helping us out a lot.
I think so. Brilliant. I've brought a set of wheels. Here we are. So these are a set of wheels from a brand called Scribe that have been making some inroads recently. They've been hitting the headlines.
Okay, this is quite a new name for me. So
yeah, it was.
Tell me a bit about it.
For me as well. So Scribe was set up about 8 years ago.
Oh wow!
Their aim is to make the lightest and the most aerodynamic carbon wheels.
Yep. So
that's their end game here. So on the way there, they've got quite a few sets of wheels, of which this is one of them. So this is their Aero Wide 3850 carbon wheel set. And it's 3850 because it's 38mm on the front and 50mm on the rear. And that is known to be aerodynamically faster if you pair a shallower wheel on the front with a deeper one on the rear. Helps
stop those side winds.
Exactly,
and so on.
Side winds, helps with handling, helps it cut through the air that bit smoother. Now they do also do this in a 50 on the front and a 65 on the rear as well, but that is pretty intense. So to give you some headline stats on these wheels, as it were, they are obviously 38mm deep and 50mm deep. They have a 19mm internal rim width, so that is kind of, you know, par for the course.
Bang on average,
I think
isn't it?
bang
Yeah,
on average, really.
It's not wide.
It's certainly not as wide
No.
as Zippin Envy pushing things, often going up to 21. And going hand in hand with that wider internal rim widths is the fact that these are tubeless ready. And as you can see, they come with the tubeless tape already set up, so you don't
get
need
valves and things as well. Yeah,
get valves in the box,
Okay.
and you don't need to worry about doing that when they arrive. All you'd need to do is whack on the tyres and chuck the sealant in, and bang them onto the rim. So that's kept nice and simple, which we'd like to see, because I think that is often the biggest hurdle to going tubeless is actually doing it.
Yeah, trying to. Okay, have I got a valve? Okay, have I got a sealant? Yeah. Okay.
I think most people would enjoy the benefits of tubeless, but the hurdle is setting it up. And so the weight is claimed to be 1,422 grams. Yeah. On our scales, we got them as 1,430 grams.
That's pretty good.
It's quite impressive, isn't it? And that is competitive as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so bearings feel really good in these.
Yeah, so they are just stainless steel bearings, but they come with some Scribe race grease, which it says helps maximise speed and performance. So they come with the Scribe 5.4 hubs, which have 54 teeth.
Yeah, so that's 54 teeth. You can hear that. It's actually quite a slow click, so it means that there's, it's about 6 to 6.6 degrees of engagement, so it means it spins 6 odd degrees before it clicks into one of those teeth. So that's actually quite slow. So
talking of, or alluding to price, this wheel set costs £870, which is, you know, is pretty competitive money for a carbon rim of varying depths and, you know, decent hub.
Yeah.
Below £1,000.
Meaning that there's that price point now that's getting quite full, isn't it? Of options.
Yeah,
so
it really is.
If you are looking for like a really good first set of carbon wheels, you know, that price point is where you're getting the really good stuff. And it's now, yeah, the choice is so good now.
I would argue that it's potentially the most important price point in the wheel market. Yeah. And, you know, it's dominated by the likes of Hunt. Your Prime wheels you had recently are sitting in there, and now these guys are in the fray as well. It's a seriously competitive marketplace for sub £1,000 wheels. So this particular model are rim brakes, but they do also do a carbon disc brake range of wheels, an alloy rim brake, and an alloy disc brake range of wheels. So they have a comprehensive set of wheels that you can look through.
Fantastic.
Should you be in the market.
Wow. Thank you very much for bringing in those Scribe Aero 3850 wheels, Rupert.
No problem.
And that brings us on to the launches we've been on recently. So it's been, again, a really, really busy time for new bikes being launched. And you recently came back from a Trek
I did,
launch.
yes. So I went to see Trek in Italy for the launch of the new Domani. The Domani now looks like the Madone. It's got a very similar front end. And at the last update of the Madone, it adopted the Domani's ISOspeed technology.
So they
are slowly coming together and getting closer and closer together, really. So the Domani does have ISOspeed technology in the top tube. You can adjust it to give you like up to 17 mil of flex.
Yeah.
The big difference for this model of Trek Domani is they have introduced a compartment on the down tube.
Oh,
yes.
They've cut a hole in the down tube.
They've cut a hole in the down tube.
So it's for storage.
It's for storage, and you can get a tool wrap, so you can keep the insides nice and safe from your tools, and you can basically store whatever you want in there. Now that's not a new idea.
No, Specialized have been doing that for a while.
They have.
But that's been on their mountain
Yes.
bikes. So road bikes, this is relatively new.
It is
isn't
a relatively new ground for road bikes, and it's not something that I'd seen before on the road side. I'd obviously seen it on Specialized mountain bikes, but it's quite cool. I mean, anything, in my personal opinion, anything that takes things out of your back pockets is good. So I hate having things swinging around on my back. So, you know, if it's things you don't need that often, maybe like your spare tube or your pump or your tool or whatever, that is a great place for it to be stored, because they're often the most bulky items as well.
Yeah, and at least you know it's always there then as
Exactly,
well.
you know it's always there. When you finish a ride, you're not putting it down in the house somewhere and then forgetting it on your next one. Just stays in there and it's good to go when you need it. So it has a max tyre clearance of a whopping 38mm tyre, which is huge. And I did a gravel ride on this bike, and actually it was perfectly capable to ride off-road, especially with tyres that wide. And new ISOspeed, I know we've mentioned this briefly, but it has increased an increase of 27% compliance to go with that off-road remit that you can now take this bike on. And finally, I'll just talk that it comes with ISOCORE and ISOZone handlebars. So they were like the big spongy bar tape and flex in the handlebars, again, just for adding that additional comfort. So very interesting stuff coming from the Trek camp, especially with the on-bike storage unit. That's very cool. Yep. But they've obviously have cast their minds forward to a more diverse riding environment, I think, which I'm all for. Enjoy it a lot. So now moving on to James's launch.
Yeah.
You went to see the new CAD 13 recently, didn't you?
That's right. It does seem that there's been an awful lot of Cannondale launches, and quite rightly, because they have launched some very, very important new models for them. And it's the aluminium CAD 13 that they've launched in the last couple of weeks as well. And now this is now that bike that everyone is talking about. Not a lot of people have been happy about it. There are some people that are happy about it, but they've changed the CAD. They've gone from the traditional, beautifully slim, sculpted, traditional double triangle CAD 12 to adopt a new shape of frame, the same as on the Super 6.
Yeah, it does follow hot on the heels of the Super 6.
It is, and effectively it is an aluminium Super 6.
Yeah.
But then the CAD 12 was an aluminium Super 6 as well.
It was,
so
yeah.
It's just, they've done the same. So it's got the drop stays, it's got the effective truncated airfoil tube shape. Not in as many places, it's only really as noticeable on the seat tube. So, and a bit on the down tube. So head tube and top tube are still sort of like effectively round. For those people that do want to move with the times and go for a CAD 13, Cannondale are doing a comprehensive range of bikes, starting with a really reasonably priced 105 model at around about £1,399, going all the way up to a Force ETAP Axis group set version with carbon wheels, the new not 45 wheels that come on the Super 6, and integrated bar and stem, and you're looking around about £4,000 for that. So the full range, and it means you've got a bike then with that versatility. You can race it, you can do whatever, and it is still a great aluminium bike.
Great, thanks James. Now, moving on to a new bike that has not changed its design, Behind us is the brand new Canyon Ultimate CF Evo disc, the lightest disc brake bike in the world, and probably not far off being the actual lightest bike.
Yeah, it is
So
definitely light. That's the one thing that you can say about this bike. So we just had it on our scales, and this comes in at 5.84 kilos. So that's 12 pounds, or 12 pounds 14 ounces. It's insanely light.
That is insane. Now, this is a bike that has been purposely designed to be an all-out lightweight weapon, and that is proven in just the components that you can see on it. We'll start with these DT Swiss PRC die-cut 1/100 24mm wheels.
Yes. And these are the 25th anniversary edition as well. So this is the wheel to celebrate DT Swiss's 25 years in making wheels. And they are super light, around about 1,200 grams a set. Very, very beautiful, and they are incredible. And on top of that, you have a new Canyon cockpit. So this is the CP20, so it's a one-piece cockpit, and it's around about 15% lighter than their original CP10, which was the one-piece cockpit that's on all of the Ultimate range at the moment. So you have a completely new cockpit there to keep it light, but probably the most distinctive set of components on this bike is that saddle and seat post.
I mean, and that fills me with fear looking at that saddle.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
It weighs a claimed 61 grams,
Yes.
that carbon saddle from Soleil, Italia.
Yep.
And the Schmolk seat post looks absolutely gorgeous in that carbon finish, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that again only weighs 120 grams, which is super light. So those are probably the most exotic parts on the frame. The rest of it is actually sort of fairly typical standard parts. You know, this is a bike Canyon say is meant to be ridden, not meant to be looked at. So it's designed to be ridden properly. Although personally, I'd change the tyres.
Yeah, the Continental Grand Prix TT
Yeah,
ones.
there's not a lot of protection in those tyres, which makes them as light as they possibly can
Well,
be.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but for those people that say, oh, it's just like an Ultimate with lots of like very sort of like Gucci parts attached to it, they have changed the frame as well. So this is not just a standard Ultimate frame. So this is the lightest frame that they have produced. And it's 641 grams for the medium frame, which is what we have here, and 285 grams for the forks. It's insanely light. And that goes a long way in terms of making it as light as it's possible to be. It's got titanium screws wherever, or bolts wherever there's needed. The front derailleur mount is molded into the carbon, so there's nothing attached on there. There's no glue, nothing bonded. And there's even specially designed aluminium through axles in here. So it is a real sort of like special.
Very excited. I mean, I'm excited to see how it rides, because often the problem with our very lightweight bike is it can ride like an absolute noodle. Now, I have absolute faith in Canyon being able to engineer an extremely light bike that doesn't have that problem. But I am excited to get out on this. In fact, I think me and James are gonna, as soon as the cameras turn off, start scrapping about who gets to ride
and then we'll probably
this
record
bike.
that as well, so we'll have a little.
Because this is a very exciting launch, and I think we'll be going some PR hunting on the local hills, I imagine.
So how much is it?
So this new Canyon Ultimate costs £9,099, which is a huge amount of money and is more expensive than anything Canyon have done in the past.
Yeah, apart from they did do an Evo version a couple of years ago as well. So this is the second one they've done, and that again had a very sort of like high-end price point, which is unusual for Canyon. But I think this is pretty much as expensive as they've ever got.
So that is a Canyon Ultimate CF Evo disc, £9,099 from the German brand, and it looks absolutely stunning. But that is everything for this month's Tech of the Months. It has been a bike heavy one this month, so if there is anything you'd like to ask us about the new bikes or leave a comment, then feel free to do so below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Cycling Weekly YouTube channel for more great content, and we'll see you next time. No, your beard's looking great.
It's-
Keep growing it out.
God, I
I was going to
lost
say
it then.
silver fox, but you're still quite not
It's like a
silver.
fox,
so
like just
yeah.
foxy, yeah.
You are foxy.
Just a fox.
Keep growing it out, mate. It's
Yeah.
incredibly thick.
It's solid, isn't it?
It is amazing.
Yeah. It's a bit warm though, isn't it?
Keep
That's
growing
the
it out.
problem.